Hey guys, Hunter here. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about something that I'm passionate about. Well, maybe passionate is not the right word, but I am experienced in it, and that is interviewing. Over the past 12 months, I would say, or even just, this year, I've interviewed over 24 times, which is quite a lot. And it's not because people don't want to hire me, it's just I had an internship recently, so the interviews for that, anytime a company would come onto campus, I'd always take the opportunity to interview with them to increase my practice and my interviewing skills. Now, I would say it's something I'm passionate about because it's a chance where you get to sell yourself. It's a great opportunity to try and stand out to future employers. And it can be very nerve-wracking sometimes. You're not sure what to say, what questions they're going to ask, how to react, how to dress even. So I'm going to offer a few tips that I've used personally that have helped me secure internship offers or job offers. So stay tuned. The first tip I really want to offer is that a little bit of preparation goes a long way. So before you go into an interview, get prepared. And what I mean by that is usually interviewers are going to ask specific questions. I'm going to do a video on that later where we're going to talk about some of the specific questions that interviewers are going to ask. And this is pretty general, so it's not specific to your career field. Now, if you are in, let's say the tech industry, they might be asking a little more technical questions as far as coding and what you can do there so you can show your skills. So study those kind of questions as well and go ahead and write them down and go over them, how you're going to respond. This preparation will really help you, so you're not going to be blindsided by a question when the interviewer asks you about something, and you'll actually have an answer prepared. Another thing I wanted to mention is review your resume. You don't want to be handing out a resume to people and not knowing what's on there. I mean, you wrote it, so you should know what's on there, but go ahead and take a chance to review what you've put down, the words you've used, that you're indicating your skills and your experience. Also, make sure you print off a few copies and bring them with you. You might have already handed them a copy physically or emailed them one, but a lot of times they won't bring it or it'll get lost or whatever might happen. Go ahead and print off a few copies just in case there's more than one person interviewing you, and this will really help you be able to show your interviewer what you've done, and they'll be able to follow along on your resume. Another thing is you need to have questions ready for them. A lot of interviewers at the end of the interview are going to ask you, do you have any questions for us? Is there anything we can make clear? Don't just say, no, that's it. I mean, they want to know if you have questions. And even if you don't, go ahead and research some that you might be able to ask them that can help you stand out. And I'm sure as you go through the process of the interview, you might have some questions pop up about how the companies run, what the culture is like, things like that. The second tip I'm going to offer is you want to foster a relationship with the interviewer. Now, you can do this by researching the company beforehand, and if you know who the interviewer is going to be, you might be able to look them up on LinkedIn, maybe find some of their interests, some of the projects they've been on, whatever it may be. If you don't know who your interviewer is going to be beforehand, make sure you still look up the company so you can at least read about what they do, how they operate, and then I want you to be able to foster this relationship with them. Now, what I mean by this is go ahead when you are sharing your experiences, you can add a little more personal things that you like to do. An example from one of my interviews is the interviewer had mentioned an author that I have been reading books from. And so casually I mentioned, hey, I know that author. I really enjoy this other book by them. I recommend it. And he just changed instantly. And so the interview went way better from that point on as soon as I had established a relationship with the interviewer. Because an interview isn't just to see what skills you can do. They're looking for someone they're going to be working with. So they want to like you. And that's why it's important to try and create this relationship. I know it can be hard because it's a short interview usually. You don't have that much time or information. But go ahead and try your best to foster a relationship with the person who's interviewing you. Number 3 kind of ties in with number 2, and that is researching the company. Again, look up their about page, their mission statement, what kind of values they have, and make sure they align with your values. You don't want to be, spending a lot of time trying to work for a company you might not agree with, or your values don't align with theirs. But a lot of times, this is going to be okay. And see what values you already have and how you can express those to the company to make sure they know that you might be a good fit for them. Tip number 4 is to dress appropriately. If you notice in this video, I dressed up a little. Normally when I go for interviews, I want to overdress. You can always underdress to an interview, and that's going to reflect poorly on you. But it's never going to reflect poorly on you if you overdress to an interview. Even if you're interviewing at, let's say, a fast food restaurant, if you show up in a shirt and tie for men, you're going to be taken much more seriously, that you actually, care about the interview and you care about the company. You took time out of your day to get ready. And to make this easier, plan your outfit ahead of time. Pick out your shirt, maybe get someone else's opinion if you don't dress up that often, and this will help you feel more confident for the interview. Tip number 5, show up on time. This is your first impression with a company. You don't want it to be bad, so don't be late. And when I mean on time, you want to show up 10 to 20 minutes early. If you feel awkward about being there so early, just sit in your car or sit in the waiting room, bring a book, practice going over those questions that you wrote down from tip number 1, and just review what you have prepared. Go run it through your mind over and over again. It's better to be there early than even a minute late. It'll make you look terrible if you're late. So make sure you allot for that extra time. Whatever you have to do, get there early. Tip number 6 is stay calm. Your body language really also speaks during the interview. If you're very nervous, if you're uptight, if you don't know what to do with your hands, maybe do a practice interview with a friend or even just over the phone. There's lots of ways to practice to be a little more calm. You can do a breathing exercise. And I think something that has helped me stay calm is going over those questions that are most frequently asked, and then going over my resume so I know what to talk about, my strengths. So that's going to help you stay calm in the interview process. All right, and the last tip number 7, is have a follow-up email. Now, this is really going to make you stand out or not stand out. Let's say you're the only one who sends a follow-up email in the next 24 hours, thanking them for the chance to interview and your interest in the company. You're the only one who sent it, so you're definitely going to stand out. And vice versa. If you're the only one of 10 who doesn't send, a follow-up email saying thank you for this opportunity, I'm very interested in the company, it's going to make you stand out in a bad way. It might say to the company that you're not interested, that you don't really care about the position, so you don't want to do that. It doesn't hurt. Just send a short email saying thank you for this opportunity and you're interested in the company. So that's a really good thing you can do at the end of the interview. I hope you guys found this helpful. Interviewing can be very intimidating, but with these tips, they've really helped me stay calm, be confident, and really just knock interviews out of the park. When I first started, I would be nervous, and by the end of this process, I feel very confident in what I'm presenting, myself, answering the questions, and I hope you can implement these tips into your interviewing process and get the job you want, the internship you want, or just feel better about presenting in front of others. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for another video. Thank you.